Hi, welcome. In this video, I come to explain you a little bit about the lexical approach, what that is, what are the characteristics of this approach, the role of the students and the teacher, advantage and disadvantage of this approach, and one slide about how I, as teacher, can apply this approach. So, let's continue. What it is. What is it? The lexical approach, as you can see over there, is a teaching method that emerged in the 20s and the 30s, began described by MICHELL as a request of Chomsky's notions of a native speaker's output, consisting of an infinite number of creative utterances, is at best a half of truth. In fact, preferably items present a significant portion of a native speaker's spoken and written output. Native speakers have a vast stock of these lexical prefabricated items or chunks that are vital for fluent production. The main purpose in this approach is produce complete phrases that help learners to communicate and to produce English language in real content. It consists in learn common phrases to communicate and memorize it. The phrases are learned grammatically used correct, then students can repeat them, and they were frequently dialoguing or basic phrases that permit communication. This approach tells us about how we as teachers can use this approach to help our students to have common or basic dialogues or conversation with others. Okay, here we have three images that are three different activities that me, Allison, can apply this method. Well, I think that I can apply this method as teacher in my class. So the first one, that is a conversation between two children, two kids. The boy said, "Hello, Ellen. How are you?" And she answered, "I'm okay, thanks." With this example, I, as teacher, can help our students or my students to have a conversation between them using this example. Okay, today we're going to learn how to grade in others, or in what are those questions or gradings that I can use or answer that I can use to answer that questions in the gradings or in the most basic conversation. Okay, now this is the example. Now you as students ask to your partner or the person who is next to you, and that is one of the purpose or one of the ways that I consider that I will use this approach. The second one is for students that, well, I consider that need to be stronger or in an advanced level of English. That is a video or movie using subtitles. Why? Because they, as a students, will understand and will check it. Not only watch the video or watch the movie, but also they will write it down how structure they recognize in the subtitles, or what phrase they recognize, for example, in here we have, hey, don't forget we get the less adaptation meeting today. That's a clear example of command of order, we can say, don't forget. In the structure of the simple past that we can see, but using the word today. And the last example that we have is a chart that has phrases in English, but as well as in Spanish. For example, previamente, con anticipación, ya era hora, and those phrases we can have in English. And as the same way that we use it in Spanish, we can use it in English. So this example that we have here, for example, all day long, we can use it in one sentence. How or why or what? Okay, all day long. Today I work all day long. In this sentence, I am saying, or I am using this phrase that is very common, but also I learned that I can use, how can I use this phrase in my daily routine. Now we have the role of the student. The role of the students in the lexical approach is to participate in the process of collecting information by the writing of complete phrases and vocabulary. They have to associate the phrases in conversation in real life. Using the example of the movie or the video with subtitles, our students will have the information in front of them, and they will understanding how to use that phrases, that vocabulary in real life conversations, in real life situations, such as in my case personally, I watching videos, series, movies in English, I understand how I, as a student or as a teacher or as an English speaker, can use phrases like on my way, what's that mean, or what are you talking about, what the hell is that, and in that kind of phrases, I learn on knowing that I am using this approach, but I am learning that kind of phrases that are common in the language in real life situations or conversations. Okay, we have the role of the teacher, that is to facilitate the phrases to the students and explain them how they use it in the real content, like conversations, reading, comments, and others. The teachers need to create an environment that helps students to feel comfortable, to feel so sure about in forgetting a phrase, forgetting all the things that okay, it is correct or not, that students will feel I'm okay with this environment or learning this topic or watching the video. The students don't have a low stress about the okay and what is that or what that means. No, the students feel comfortable watching a video or watching a series episode or a movie. So this kind of environment we can get it using activities that the students love to do. Okay, then we have the characteristics of this approach. First of all, the similarity of the bilingual method, which is based on lesson and repeat and learning process. And this is the same process in all this method, the Duolingo. But in the lexical approach is most basically not only learn, repeat, and listen, because also apply how I, as student or as a teacher, as an English speaker, can use this phrase in my real life, in my real situations, in real conversations. So that's why this method is similar to this approach. Also, this approach is based in learning phrases. The teacher can have observations and make corrections to the students to help them understand and have the lexicon of the language, and also the structure and spelling. If the student is making a spelling mistake, if the student is making pronunciations in bad pronunciations or whatever, the teacher will have observations and make corrections to help them have a good understanding of the structure of the language and also of the sense of the phrase. Minimal pairs, collocation, and lexical units are a specific characteristic of this approach. These three units are specific in this approach because this approach is focused on the phonetic and phonology part of the language. That's why these three parts are important in this approach. The audience that we can use or we can apply this method is all the language, all the ages, since children to adults to from Spanish to English, from English to French, from French to Japanese to Chinese, to Japanese to Portuguese, and wherever ages, in wherever language, we can apply this method, so with this approach, and it will be effective. Okay, the advantage and disadvantage of this approach. The advantage, because the students will facilitate the grammatical structure directly without stopping the learning process of grammatical rules and how to produce sounds or produce the language. Then we have the learner can learn and apply, be sure what they are doing. The students are not be afraid about say that phrase in the speaking, in the conversation, in their dialogues. So the teacher demonstration and tracing is easily in the phrasing production the most important part of the process, that is the productions of the phrases. The other hand, we have the disadvantage. The method of this approach is based on false assumptions about the language, because some of the people who teach English, for example, using this language, say that it's not important for beginnings to learn grammatical rules. As a student, I learned grammatical rules since I was in high school. So they say almost that is important. It's more important to produce the speaking part of the language than the reading or the of the grammatical rules of the language. But that's why it is based on false assumptions about language. Then we have the study of the language doesn't amount to a study of studying the parallel of observable data. The meaning of the word can be learned only in linguistic and cultural contexts. I'm not agree with this because I consider that watching a video or watching a movie or whatever thing that we are watching, we can understand how a meaning of the word as based on the context of the movie or based on the context or the cultural aspects of the movie. In me, I as a student, as the person who is watching, I understand that I can use it in the same context, in the same situation, but well, this is a disadvantage, right? That we found on the internet. Then speaking and repeating are the skills that this method improves, not writing. And the last one, the student could be bored. So I don't think so bad. Those are the disadvantages that we found. So thank you for your attention, for watching our video. So have a great day. Blessings.